I had been doing financial planning on my own for quite some time. However, when I was closer to 40, I felt it's time to get an external help in order to plan things in a better way for next 20 odd years till I retire.
Balpreet Singh is a Mumbai-based IT professional. Though he's been investing for a while now, it was only in the last few years that he decided to plan well to ensure he meets his and his family's financial goals. One major decision the family made was that his wife, Chanchal Kaur, stepped back from her own academic career to help their daughter with her education, making Balpreet the sole earner. So now they had to ensure that they planned well so they could continue with their lifestyle and also save properly for their own retirement as well as their daughter's education.
My composition of debt and equity changed from where I was earlier to sort of a newer goals, which helped me in aligning things as per our family goals. So earlier, if I put in a number, I was 60% on debt and 40% on equity, and it's changed. It's now 50-50, and probably in next couple of years. I did have some ULIPs. I had some traditional LIC policy. I had some SIPs also, and debt policy. So this was probably, one step at a time, or somebody told me and I did that, or I felt I need to do that. So it was not a very well thought out portfolio as I felt. So that was the scenario before I started thinking very clearly that I need to look at a financial plan for next 20 odd years before my retirement. For example, traditional policies, now I have made them fully paid up. I don't invest further. ULIPs, I have stopped. In fact, I have withdrawn and put them into mutual fund SIPs. In the same way, to keep the percentage of equity to debt on a correct ratio, I started putting in more money into my mutual funds. Even on mutual fund side, I had multiple mutual funds earlier because somebody would have suggested me, or I thought that let me stop investing in a mutual fund and start extra. So I had probably more than a dozen mutual funds. And now slowly and gradually there are only 3 mutual funds where I am actively investing. The others, as per need, when I reach a life goal, I withdraw money.
Now, Balpreet will manage to pay off his home loan early as he puts in annual bonuses into this goal and is budgeting for 45 lakh rupees for his daughter's graduation and postgrad. Once this goal is also complete, he'll shift some part from equity to debt. The family also plans to buy a bigger house to live in, and they will use their investments to fund the additional amount they'll require after selling this current house.
When we had thought about what are our life goals as a family, what we would want to do when in terms of, let's say, taking a vacation, in terms of planning for our kids' education. So we thought about that in which year it would be, and accordingly started putting in money in SIPs for that. So these were goals which were different in terms of time or in terms of years when we would want to have it, and then we started investing accordingly. So having multiple time-bound goals is what sort of brings a discipline to us when we go through financial planning.
With his investment journey being on track, Balpreet has a few tips for everyone else who wants to begin on a structured path to financial planning.
Well, there are few points, I'll say a checklist when we all have to make financial planning. So we should be properly insured. A lot of times people don't do that, be it life insurance or be it health insurance. That's one thing to be kept in mind. The other is an emergency corpus, that we should have about, I'll say, 6 to 12 months of emergency corpus ready. The next part is whether you have planned for your goals in the right way. When do you want to get those money, and accordingly probably don't even go too bullish on equity. Few years before any life goal, you should start getting that into debt so that you save your principal, and in the sort of heat of the moment of getting a little more greedy in terms of your better outcomes, you should not get into it, and probably the the core money also comes down. So these are probably 2-3 points that come into my mind. And obviously then discipline, that it should not be that, okay, I'll save later, let me spend now. It should be that take money out for your saving and only then you start to spend. So these are probably 3 or 4 points I'll say that everybody should take care of when they are talking about financial planning.